Tallman. I must be your daddy, because this film's for you. I'm from Sempronius. Went to school in Moravia. Met your mother about 3 years ago.
Hi, my name is Jenny Manning, and I was Eric Tallman's fiance.
And Daddy dropped down on one knee and asked Mommy to marry her. Marry him. And then Mommy said yes and started crying.
The first time Eric and I met, I was coming home from college on one weekend, and we were at a mutual friend's house, and we were sitting there, and he told his friend,
"Hey man, who's that girl?" He was like, "Well, that's Jen." I said, and then he said, "Why?" I said, "Man, she looks good. You gotta hook me up." I never seen your mother for 4 months after that, because your mother went to an internship, and so I just had to sit around, waiting around, twiddle my thumbs till Mommy came around again, because you know it was love at first sight.
Eric was fun, loving, right from day one. He smiled quickly.
Eric was like a brother to me. We did a lot of things together. You know, he was the type of guy that would walk in a room and everybody would be happy. He was the life of the party. Always a smile on his face, always telling a joke, always hitting you from behind, trying to get you.
when you were down, you always wanted him to be right there with you. He always brought you up. If you were in a bad mood, you were going to be in a good mood real quick. He was fun, he was loving, he loved his family, he loved his friends.
He loves life, and he always wanted to see how exciting it could be. He had his own little signature dance move, which was freaking hilarious. He'd be like, yeah. Everybody knows that. Everybody that knows Eric knows that.
When I told Eric that I was pregnant, he started crying. They were happy tears. You could tell they were happy tears. And I started crying with him. And we couldn't wait to tell our family and friends.
The phone rang at about 11:30 one night, which our phone should not be ringing at 11:30, and he knows that. However, I answered the phone, and he said, "Mom, guess what?" I said, "What, Eric? I'm sleeping." And he said, "I'm going to be a dad. Jenny is pregnant." And he was just so excited.
Look where you are. Right there. I can't wait for you to come out. Hopefully, you can see the date on the camera, so.
Anytime.
Yeah, you put Mommy in the hospital last night, and we stayed there all night. Now, the question is, when are you going to come out? When are you going to come all the way out? Because you're putting Mommy through heck, and Daddy can't wait to see you.
We love you.
That's right, we love you. You kick me every night I put my hand there. I hope you're not that feisty when you're born.
It wasn't a burden to him. He was excited and wanted to be a father and support his family and start his own family with her. He loved Jenny.
The whole pregnancy, Eric went to every doctor's appointment. In fact, the nurses talked about how they have never seen a father that went to every single thing and showed so much excitement.
It won't be this much of a pain when you come out. Feeling? Mommy doing a good job.
Ouch. Oh.
Hey, Dad. You ready to be a grandpa or what?
Yeah. Let's get this done over.
Yep. This is 6 hours from the time we come into the hospital, and
yeah, everybody up there
about that time.
All nervous and jerky.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I remember right after she was born, a couple different things. One was when she was born, he went on to the other side of the bed and kissed Jenny and said,
You did excellent, honey.
"You did a super job, Jenny. Super. Absolutely super. You're so beautiful. Are you warm enough?"
She's really wanting to while I'm doing all that hard work. Plus, I turned the room temperature up a bit.
You take Mom and Dad one kiss. Don't you want to Here you go. Congratulations.
He wanted to be with Kaylin, and he wanted to be with Kaylin 24/7. He didn't want anybody to babysit her. He took her everywhere he went. He showed her off to everybody and anybody. If it was a stranger, he would go up to them and say, is my baby girl. You want to meet her?
It was one of the happiest days of his life. But in turn, he was worried because, you know, he made some bad choices in life and he was making money the fast way. And he's like, you know, I'm confused. I don't know what I'm going to have to do. I got to make money. I got to go straight. I don't want to get in trouble, you know. And he really wanted to be a good role model and father to his daughter.
I opened our hearts and our doors to some individuals that maybe we should have closed the door to. They made a young teenager who was only 5 credits from his high school diploma go into a prison system for taking a car stereo when there was 5 individuals. He became very angry underneath. It didn't stop him from being the loving, caring person that he was, but it did lead him into knowing people that he should never have met. I've learned a lot more about his whole life after this tragedy took place, and unfortunately the drug world, and Eric getting caught up with thinking that he could get away with, you know, making easy money.
It was the freedom to do whatever he wanted. He had no rules. There was no rules with Eric. You know, he was spontaneous.
He also had Tourette's syndrome, which makes ideas go around and around and around in your head, and they're not always the right ideas, and you get consumed with that. And I truly believe that he got consumed with making money, fixated on money.
Eric got out of the fast life. He was good for a year, for a whole year. I got him a job with the state of New York. He started off making 30, 40 grand a year. He'd go to work, he'd come home, he'd spend time with his family, and then he just sat back and he thought to himself, you know, the game got to his head. You know, I'm walking around with 5 G's in my pocket all the time, and now I'm busting my chops here at work for 8 hours a day for, you know, $1,200 every 2 weeks, you know. So that got to him, and he just couldn't stick with it.
Eric left for Texas with a couple of so-called friends, and he was supposed to be gone for a couple days, and he was supposed to be home on Halloween, and that was Kaylin's first Halloween, so I was very upset that he didn't show up. And when he got back, he told me something bad went wrong, and he didn't know what was going to happen.
Local police agencies and family members are searching for a 24-year-old Sempronius man, Eric Tallman, who has been missing since Wednesday, November 27th.
The 7 days that Eric was missing was the worst 7 days of my whole entire life. I knew that something was bad. He wouldn't go a day, let alone an hour, without talking to us.
Eric didn't show up to play pool with his dad. Prior to that, around 5, Eric was supposed to meet Jenny at Applebee's, and he called and canceled.
I was in a car accident that night that he was missing, and I left 100 voicemails on his voicemail, and he never called back.
The day he went missing, called me and said, "Hey Lou, I need you to take a ride with me." I took a lot of rides with Eric. He knew I had his back, but I was working a double that day. He called me and I was at work. I told him, "Listen, wait till I get home. I get done at 10 o'clock. I had to work 16 hours that day." He said, "No, I'll just go by myself." And that was the last thing I heard from him.
So we all go to my mom's for Thanksgiving, and we're kind of waiting for him to arrive. He does not arrive.
I was very worried. Thanksgiving was huge in his life and his family. And I was trying to hold it together for myself and Kaylin.
We thought, well, you know, maybe Eric just went out with his buddies, had too much to drink, stayed at one of his buddies' house, forgot to call.
I called and never got no response. And then the next day I called, and then I knew something was up.
Genuinely called me, asked me, you know, had I seen him, had I heard anything, and I hadn't. But I told her, you know, if she wanted to go look for him, I told her to pick me up. She did, and we were out driving around Dryden and Groton and back roads, and we were all over the place.
On Friday morning, his dad gets up knowing that he's in a white car. It's been snowing. He was like, well, if he went over an embankment, you know, maybe nobody saw the car. So his dad starts searching as soon as it gets daylight, searching and searching and searching. Saturday rolls around. We're like, something's seriously wrong. Eric would never not call Jenny, checking on his daughter and Jenny for this many days.
On the 7th day, I had to go to the church. I had to pray. It was Eric's mom and myself.
Jenny and I and the minister are saying to God, we know something bad has happened to Eric. Please just let us find him.
Eric's mom's legs just gave out, and we all cried.
The body of a man found in a parked car at Cortland Memorial Hospital was identified Thursday as that of a Cayuga County man missing since the day before Thanksgiving.
It ended up that the next day, they identified Eric through his fingerprints. And that's how the family found out that Eric had been murdered.
I didn't believe it was true. And then, you know, they started dropping names and what happened and who was involved. And to be honest with you, the first thing I did was I wanted to go kill him. And I did everything I could. Everybody tried to stop me, but I was on my way. And it really hurt me bad. It took a while to get over that, and it still affects me. Because, you know, he was family. And the way he went out was no way somebody like that should go out. It was just wrong. There's still a grudge to settle with those guys, you know?
Sorry. It was senseless, brutal, disgusting. And the people that did that, you just know they're heartless and psychotic. And I felt horrible for, you know, his family.
I, in my heart, believe Eric might have known that he was going to lose his life at a young age. So if I had anything that I could change, it would be who he hung with and who we also allowed to be in our hearts and our home, because the people that took his life in July of 2002 were at our house having a cookout, eating our food, our salads, drinking our beer, and then they come to our house looking for him on November 27th, the day that his life was taken, looking for him. They still came, acting like they were his friends, at 12:30 in the afternoon with his daughter in my arms. I just got that vision over there when I came to the house. They could have killed me and that baby, my granddaughter. They didn't care.
I think that I always wonder what it would be like with Caitlin. What would he be doing with her? I always tell her to surround herself with good people, because I feel like if you surround yourself with good people and you make good choices, then you'll have a good life. And you always need to turn a negative into a positive. Life is just too short. And for Kaylin, this tragedy has become a positive only because she has a guardian angel that looks down upon her 24/7, and not every little girl gets that.
Next time I film you, you're going to be probably a few months old. Hopefully I'll get your first step and your first word and all the fun little things about life. Right, Kaylin, this documentary was made for you. Love you.
And if reporting with her shipmates ain't Michael ever.
Hi, Jenny. Say hi. This documentary's for you.
Hi, Daddy. I wonder what it would be like if you were here. I play softball and I play soccer. Thank you for giving me a good stepdad. I miss you. I love you.
Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fears and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky. I hope you're singing in the angels' choir. And I hope the angels know what they have. I'll bet it's so nice up in heaven since you were